Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the Dr. Funk live show. For those not watching live, thank you guys so much for subscribing on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, Podbay FM, and letting everyone know about the show. Hope everyone is doing well. It's been craziness. It always seems like it's been longer than it actually has been since the last time we saw each other. But hope you're doing well. Hope you're hearing me just fine. And remember to participate with the other people in the room. Although I see all the comments, you guys don't throughout the different platforms, but it's all good. Hope you guys are doing well on that note. So here we go. How have you guys been with what has been going on? And hopefully you guys have been paying attention to what's been going on in the music world in regards to COVID. It's definitely not a rave into the year 2000, that's for sure. But we're going to go back and look upon those things as we rave to the year 2020. What's up, Miyaboka? So, these are the things that are going on. Don't know if there's a problem with Facebook Live. They were saying something earlier that would be problematic. But I think we're going through. Just don't know if you guys are commenting yet. But hopefully it'll happen. If not, I'm gonna have to pay attention through another thing to go on it. Wow, that just went out. Okay. So yeah. Just lost a little bit of the power to something, which is always fantastic. Hopefully we'll get it back. Yep, there we go. Cool. Thanks. I always tried to be different for those watching live. Just figured you guys would laugh. But here, like in California, it's getting to like 35 at night on the outskirts of LA. So it should be warming up again, but it's not supposed to get that cold until later. So, these are the things, as you guys may have paid attention to on Twitter. I made a comment about Harry Styles and his unique outfits, albeit dresses, and how sometimes women's clothes used to have better stuff than the men, whether it was hats or other things. So, and then Jason Momoa getting crap for wearing pink. So, you gotta put on something that another won't dare, right? Albeit I think this outfit some people would wear, right? You gotta go with it. Houston is warm. Interesting. We should warm up again. I was not at the taping of the Rave New Year's special, Kristen. I was invited by someone in the know. I don't think they were working for the camp, though, because I didn't know anyone, I believe, at that time. So, Baby Yoda or Mandalorian. And that's getting canceled, for eating eggs or something? Good Lord, the world we live in. Welcome to 2020. Now, if you guys saw, even Ticketmaster is talking about when Live Nation has shows, whenever that's going to be, that you're going to have to be tested for COVID and have the vaccine and other things before you can go to shows. Very interesting. Hello, everyone. Thanks. I try to be stylish is all I can say, no matter what. I try to be my own person, just like how Prince was. I don't try to wear the outfits that Prince would wear or Harry Styles would wear. I try to wear my own thing and make it my own thing. I can still be a fan, and you guys know it, without having to wear some outfits that just wouldn't look good on me. So yeah. But this is the world we live in now, and I don't know if I'll be going to concerts anytime soon that Live Nation is doing with that. We will see. I mean, just crazy, crazy, crazy times. Like, who thought, again, when we're looking back 20 years ago or 21 years ago when Rave was happening, that 2020 would be what it is. Thank you, Veronica. I appreciate the love. I always try to be stylish and different. And yeah. And like, I find it funny that people like, or do you wear pants during your shows? I'm like, yeah, I wear pants. Come on, guys. I'm not working for Good Morning America where I can slack off like that. So, Rave into the year 2000. And yes, I think we always miss live concerts and miss seeing Prince in concert for sure. Hello, Cami. Yeah, well, we need a vaccine before just being distributed before they can require it anyway. Exactly. I don't know why they made the announcement like concerts were happening next week when that's not happening. But it's going to take time. And I'm sure in California, we're about to be on a lockdown very soon yet again, with the numbers just rising. But let's not get into that because it's going to turn into a different thing. But we're just going to have to keep ourselves busy during the quote unquote cold weather that we're going to be experiencing. You guys are going to be experiencing, although I believe it's summer in Australia. So yeah, I never purchased or found that numbered purple metal ticket for the Rave recording. I don't think there'll be concerts before 2022. So I guess if anyone asks, is there going to be a celebration at Paisley Park in 2021? You guys can answer that. That's another thing. Although I don't like what it's called, like there was the top list of celebrity death makers that was released this week, more so today. Kobe Bryant, I believe, was a new person to the list. I was going to say number one, but he wasn't. It was the Michael Jackson estate. And Graceland is still on there, but it fell off. So what's interesting is that if Graceland's model is falling off in Nashville, just imagine what's happening to Paisley Park right now. I don't believe that Prince was mentioned in the top 10 this year. So thank you. I'll always remind you guys of the truth. Gilbert, yes, doing okay on the coast of the West. Yes, I saw the Purple Rain tour was up for auction as well. That's something that he hasn't had around for a long time. And that thing is quite big. Could you imagine if they had every single tour of us that he used for every single tour because it wasn't the same one, and that they purchased them all? There'd be like no room on that grass area of Paisley Park. So you can't have that. I understand for nostalgia purposes that you guys would want, especially because that's where he'd watch like the shows after doing a concert on the way to the next city sometimes. But those things are going to go for sale. I've seen the Musicology tour bus. When it was during the Musicology tour, I saw a different bus for Jam of the Year. It's different things. So I do realize it's up for sale. It's just one of those things that someone that has it is trying to be profitable on it. I'm not exactly certain that's how Paisley and the Prince estate should be spending their money, however, especially when we were just talking about the list of celebrity moneymakers after their passing for this year. I don't think they exactly need the money, but Paisley Park just isn't being the touring place that it should be. Number one, in the past few years in Minnesota, it's been like 7 months of winter. So that hurts. And then number two, you throw COVID on top of it. Although they've had a pretty big advertising campaign in Minnesota with the billboards and magazines and other stuff. I don't think they're exactly hurting, but it wouldn't hurt for another PPP to be able to happen for them. Just wish that people would get their house in order when it comes to things like that. Now, we don't have, a Prince movie or anything coming out that can create new revenue like, say, Bohemian Rhapsody did, or other things going on. Right now, it's just striving to survive. Yes. Yeah, I believe that tour bus would be cool for to view, but just one of those things that it's almost 40 years old. How many people have used it since? It isn't like the same stuff. It's not like a Prince left a slew of clothes in there either, right? So, we just have to think of things. And of course, it's like Hot Topic had some new print shirts. It's just tea, and I'm not trying to spill it in my drink. But they have a slew of print shirts. They had a black one that says Prince and the symbol. I ordered that. It's not a good shirt. Then they had another one that says Prince for you, and it's blue. But when you order that one online, the black one arrives. So make sure, even though it says online only, it actually is in the stores. Go ahead and purchase that one, because that one's a little bit more blue. Probably matches my eyes, but the black just didn't do stuff. Now, Rosemary's got a comment regarding the tour bus. But again, just remember how big these are. They should save it for tours. No, not on Paisley Park, but his supporters could go to a space and view it. The supporters would help pay for at least one or two of these buses. It also hurts the tours and anything Prince is the unsolved way past. But yeah. But for the tour bus, it's like, who would have it and where would you keep it? It's not exactly tiny. And Giselle saying the Prince estate doesn't make their numbers public, but those things are public information. In years past, they've actually been notified and put out how much they're making. So you can say that, but it's actually public record, especially when you're dealing with the IRS, or else they wouldn't be in a battle with the IRS of how much money they're making if it isn't public record. So there you go. So I would park it and make it my tiny purple house. All right. How much is that thing even going for? Is it up for auction without a price? So there you go. COVID has hurt Graceland big time. They really limited how many people can go through the mansion a day. Exactly. And even though Paisley has events out there, it's been socially distanced events, and they're trying to do it. They haven't closed for tours, but of course, the tours that they would have to be smaller to socially distance. So no matter what, everything is getting affected by COVID. It's not like this year is going it. So yes, by someone who suggests Paisley Park commercials during a pandemic. Who said that? I was just criticizing for billboards, but okay. 100,000. Interesting. Starting. Could there be a virtual tour or tours with guests helping? The guests would be his family and friends with special stories. That could be something that they work on and that they do. They were doing during COVID when they weren't open for tours. They were doing, they're having Mitch open up something and then show the birds in the cages and other stuff. I think it'd be welcome to that, but you have to be very careful with virtual tours and different stuff. They did do a virtual concert for Omar Apollo a month or so back. Let's see. Excuse me. Yes, virtual tours. How much would you guys charge for it, though? And how much did anyone that's in the room pay for the Omar Apollo concert? So yeah, those are the things that you need to know. So I think they should do a traveling tour in the US once COVID is over. They were doing like an exhibition, but those were overseas. My Name is Prince exhibit that was over in the UK and other places, and they were trying to have it be in Japan. Was supposed to be the next place, but that never materialized. But Graceland was handling that, and they're no longer involved. So, yeah. Perhaps there should be a kind of Paisley member subscription to obtain it until things normalize. What would you guys suggest, though? It's not like they made it saying that they're in trouble. This is just saying that they're not on the list, unlike they were in years past where, you know, his catalog would sell 20 million or publishing would be up in 15 million. All those things being public record from last year. So, well, I do believe at the regular tours they have. So you're saying for a virtual tour to have special merch that would be sold afterwards. Remember, they do have the Prince Estate or Prince.com website for that. Amsterdam as well. Yes, correct. For the My Name is Prince exhibit that they had. Yes, Minneapolis is on an exponential phase for COVID, 100%. See, that's the whole thing, Rosemary. We don't really know what Prince would charge because this whole thing was happening afterwards. Just careful, because you don't want some people to go like, oh, I saw the virtual tour, I don't need to travel to Minneapolis. You know, it's just certain things like that. You have to make sure of it. So the auction actually financing starts at 5,000, goes to 100,000. Doesn't really say starting bid. Interesting. So yeah, some, you know, scary that they move some of his items around the world like that. Some of them were not, you know, it was actually, I believe, owned by the person that was bringing the tours along for that, or stuff that they purchased or other things. But yes, you have to be careful, but you're also looking at ways to bring it to happen. I just don't think that's going to be obviously happening with COVID going on. Maybe have a special limited edition merch only release to select donors through a lottery of sorts would help. That's interesting. Like, you know, they don't have Bravado anymore, but there's still certain shirts. Like I said, Hot Topic is selling things. Same with Urban Outfitters. You know, that's going on. It seems to be more all over the place than it being just in one place to purchase it. So, you know, or the Rainbow Throne and One Night Alone record sets, and I ended up canceling the order because after a few months I still didn't have them. Is that common? Kristen, was that through the Prince Estate? And where do you live? Right. It would be great if they do a carryover membership for those of us who were MPG Music Club members back in the day. But that membership was for the life of the site, which we thought would be for life, but it was actually for the life of the site, and that's no longer around. And then that database, that's something that can't be exactly tracked because it was erased. I should do a meet and greet for all my fans when COVID is over. Would love to meet you. Yeah. I don't know. It probably would disappoint you, but thank you. Hello, Heidi from Minneapolis. I think that you have an event coming up. If you want to talk about it in the room and post the link, go ahead. I may not have posted it last week, and with everything that's going on, I'm trying to remember. One time and one time only virtual tour of the upstairs, all the upstairs, since they don't show it in person, it doesn't take away from the regular tour. That's a decent idea, Wonderland, but of course not the bedroom. The weight room, the room for clothes, and other things. Forever 21 shirts also. Is that recently, Alexis? And what do they have? I'll have to check into it. Target still just has the Purple Rain shirt, but they have a circular one, and now I believe that they're coming out with Purple Rain shirts. So MPG Music Club was fun, and the tickets were a great price, 100%. MG Club were in the good seats most of the time. Let me tell you, like, I think I said this before when we were at Staples Center. The MPG did have the good seats, and then there was Jack Nicholson with someone else kind of trying to rush to the side because they weren't exactly in the good seats. So it's interesting to see stuff like that. I would never disappoint. Would love to be friends. Thank you, Veronica. Appreciate it. You're going to Target? Hey, wait until the show's over. No, I'm playing. If you want to go to Target now, you can go. Target has been my go-to place during this ridiculousness, but this week has been so crazy with the Black Friday deals. Like, there's just too many people around. And I thought they were keeping record of how many people that go in. And then when you go to the malls here, like, there's lines outside the stores for people to get in. And some places only have it where you can have 3 people in at a time. Still waiting for my t-shirt from the early 90s Prince website. Matt's, why do I have a feeling you're not alone on that? So, Academy of Prince, It Always Snows in December, songwriting workshops for teens. Something that the Academy of Prince is doing for December. Make sure to be following that as well, what's going on. It's always a good thing. Target from Minneapolis too. Target, I'm sure Target everywhere is ridiculous right now. But that's the place that I go to for food and other things. And now it's like, it's too crowded up in there, but I don't go. I try to limit the places I go to. Your son gives Target way too much money. I'm with you. But I go there for shopping of food and other things just because it's a one-stop shop. So I look at it like that. Excuse me. Lisa and Adrian now are on the board and teaching along with Willie. So Lisa Fiorillo, or Lisa Deese, and Adrian Crutchfield, along with Heidi and Willie Adams. Heidi Vader and Willie Adams. Don't want to say that. Heidi changed her name. Prince in all white with the red flower. Another one, I can't remember the other one, but you can look online. That's for Forever 21. Urban Outfitters, they have a Prince shirt there. I kind of saw it. It wasn't exactly the best, I'll be honest. And Kristen, in regards to her One Night Alone Records Prince site, she's in Canada. I want to order the jewelry, but nervous now. I got one item out of a big order. I emailed them a few times before canceling. This told me it was a production issue. I ordered stuff, I think, in August for my birthday, and there's one shirt that they don't have yet, so they won't ship anything until the entire order is ready. So we're waiting on one shirt supposedly, and it's been, 3 months, and I haven't gotten an update since August of that shirt. It's a box that they're waiting on, and it's been 3 months, but okay. So cheap prices for what? That Urban Outfitters shirt sure wasn't cheap. One night at Milwaukee Auditorium, the Purple Circle seats were quite the distance. We were so sad. Morris and Jerome were performing next door, and they popped on stage with Prince that night. That would have been cool. Purple Circle was somewhat expensive, especially at the Hollywood Bowl when they did the show there. And that was Prince's shortest LA show. And it was cold that night, and he was not in a good mood because the reason it was so short is he thought he can go past curfew of 11 o'clock on the dot. And he was just like, I'll pay it. And they're like, no, we have a strict curfew. You can't do it. He didn't take the stage till around 10 p.m. Larry Graham's set, the opening act, was longer than that show. But he made up for it the next night for people who went to Irvine Meadows. He did 3.5 hours. But still, and then he stayed away from LA for 3 years because of that crap. So photo in black today was cool. Thank you. That was from a few months ago. Although I had the beard last night, I shaved it last night, and already it's growing back a little bit. Welcome to it, but I'm glad I made that deal. I wanted hair on my head and my face and nowhere else. Although, yeah, we don't need to get into that. But I need another photo shoot. I have more makeup that I need to try on, and then different looks for you guys without the beard or with the beard. So I got First Girl by John Blackwell for Musicology. He signed Drumstick from a Little Drummer Boy's Son. That's pretty awesome. Well, it's the Prince estate mostly running stuff, and Paisley Park does have very cool merch there. It's just trying to do different things. And again, we didn't see where Prince made it on the list of it, but you had Sign of the Times was just released in October, and I don't think that made that list. So there is some stuff. I think the Australian artist should do a t-shirt in her style. I really think it would sell. That's Blue, the artist, and she does have some stuff that is sold through the Prince estate. It's like 1 or 2 shirts, but it's been the same for the past few years. There hasn't been anything new on that front. But yes, Prince would use other people all the time, whether it was Red Fox Bandit or Blue. I do wish that more fans' ideas were used for shirt ideas, albeit some of the stuff that you purchase that they make, the photographer isn't getting paid. So that could be problematic. Of course, when Prince was here, you wouldn't have to worry about that. He'd slap the image on a t-shirt and there you go. The Paisley Park merch now is the same as the estate. And yeah, it's getting to like 35 here at night in LA, but it's supposed to warm up a little bit. The necklace you're wearing now looks like good quality. Where did you purchase it from? Was it good price? I've had to make 2 of these over the years. It's specially made from a jeweler. The first one that I have was made as a junior high graduation present. And then this one was made a year or 2 ago, but it was like specially made by a jeweler that gave me a really good deal. And I've always liked this original symbol, although I got more questions about this one. Like, are you androgynous, or these other things that go on? So I just recently arrested. Wouldn't it be black and white though? Just read about Warhol's fascination with Prince. I had no idea. Saw orange Prince artwork. Yes, that is something that keeps getting figured and battled out in court over who owns the photography for that. Madison Dubois, I love her photos, and I think that there may be some stuff in the future you hope with the estate and them working together. So, okay. So, Cami, sorry about you having surgery this morning, and hope you feel better and do those things. So I love when you have people who come into a room and then they don't know who I've been in the Prince world for we're going on since 98 now. And then they try to start stuff. It's interesting. And then it's like, should you block them or should you just let it go? They're just being ridiculous. And sometimes it's like feeding trolls. So, excuse me a moment. Yeah. Let's see. Interesting. Check this out. Check it out later. Yes, and Prince could rock the shirts with him on it for well. No, Heidi. It's a troll somewhere else. And of course, when people don't use photos of themselves, that usually makes it interesting what it should be. As you guys know, was around before 4/21/16 and still around. So 1999 art does make cool stuff. Eric, not sure about which Eric you're talking about. Nothing, Rosemary, just trying to figure something out before I block them. Don't worry. Yeah. So hello, Australia. Good to see you guys again. So, yeah. There you go. So was anyone at the Rave show aside from having a ticket from it 20 years ago or 21 years ago? So, yeah. Where am I filming from? In LA. Oh, Eric. See, because there's different Erics. So, yeah. Go ahead, 7. I was not there. No. And I hear that people had to be like out in the cold for a super long time with that. So favorite songs from that were Pretty Man, San Diego. Yep. Yep. He invited us to the park after I went with my friend and waited in the cold for hours. See, it's ridiculous having to go through that stuff. Like, people don't understand. Like, later on, he didn't make you guys wait for shows as much anymore. But back then, you guys were on P time, you know. So it would go on for that for a while, especially with last minute shows. So, live in Chanhassen. When are you coming? Not anytime soon that I'm aware of. Then you had to take your friend home and went back and got lost. I wouldn't say I'm cold in LA, only at nighttime, but obviously just trying to be stylish. Have you found that the prevailing attitude before his passing routinely against his behavior? What do you mean by that? Curious if you can elaborate. When was it taped? I just watched it and was trying to figure out who's behind the stage watching. It was taped before New Year's, I believe, December 15th or 17th, early in there. It's not after Christmas, but before. Heidi says she was home at 6 a.m. and my husband thought I must have got in, but no, that sucks. I'm not a big Rave album fan. It's a few songs. So, yeah. Thank you, Cheryl. She had a newborn baby. Oh, we'll see those things. You saw me in LA at the book signing for Morris Day with my BFF, Kevin A. Sort of trying to her. Next time I'll say hi. I didn't run into it at Amoeba Records before. Maybe that was a different Alexa. So, yeah. But I do miss Minneapolis. But if, yeah, it's been a little cold in LA. I could just imagine how much more it is in Minneapolis. So, was Mad Sex about Scary Spice? You tell me, but that was on New Power Soul. So, yeah. There you go. Next time I got in, went up and thanked him for having us there. What did he say back to you? I did not meet Prince's dad. I saw him before at Paisley, I believe 2000, in the year 2000, I believe. About 20 now. So, thank you, Anne. Not going to disagree with that. There was a number of times that people said he should release more product, and with the higher frequency when he did, the people would turn against his behavior that he increased stature. Okay. Yeah. Well, obviously they're releasing more now, but with streaming it doesn't pay as much. So I don't know if that's what you're asking more so. But the deals of what he felt he was worth, he felt he wasn't getting paid, so it was problematic. So Yeah. Just double check mail ticket is engraved December 18th. See? So there you go. So you've never been to Minneapolis and love to go. You need to go in the future. So, hopefully sooner rather than later, right? Yeah. Have me and Questlove traded music? No, we've talked about it. Not talked about trading, but we talked about his music before. So there's just been that, we don't have like discussions through DMs or whatnot. It would be mostly in person where we had it before. So, yeah. Kimberly, there's a lot of different feelings about that book, to be honest. I'll leave it at that. And ask how other people in the room feel about it. You guys can have discussions. Prince had lots of vinyl records of other artists. Would you happen to know who has those now? Some should still be there that were at Paisley. So, it would just be in his bedroom. So, was this an actual example of haters when all along I thought it was a collective strategy to raise by its fandom to increase opportunities through negative advertising? No, I don't think it was that, at least not seeing what you're saying with that. Prince fans would be very critical of him when he was alive. There's stuff that wanted the new stuff, and there's people that wanted him to sound like he did back in the day. It was just a constant battle of what was going on. At the end of the day, anything is only worth as much as someone is willing to pay for it. Not always fair, but Sally, that's the way it goes. So, yeah. Right. But that's how it is that there's just certain things that we know that just don't generate a lot of money, and that it wouldn't be as profitable as it should be. So I haven't talked to Maite in a while. She was in the room, I think, with Dave a couple months back. She had a birthday yesterday, I believe. So I hope that she had a great birthday and people donated to Maite's rescue. So he was aware of the critical element. He'd be on the org all the time. He'd read that stuff, unfortunately. So, yeah. That book was hard to hear. So you listen to it. And I think they're going to be putting it out with more of an emphasis on the audio recordings that are on the audio version of that book. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah, he'd be paying attention, and just on Housequake as well. Like, we would hear, he'd be playing videos for people off of Housequake's website and then get pissed at them for having the videos up, then have them take it down. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. So, excuse me while I adjust this. So, yeah. I'm a Prince encyclopedia. You should teach a class. No. Everyone has everyone's being called a Prince scholar now, right? That's the thing that's a go-to. So, yeah. I agree, Michelle, on that. Why I think my take is like all the dogs are people. Well, some people think that humans are better. Well, dogs and pets are better than humans. I'll be honest. I'm out in public yesterday having an oil change for my car and waiting, and then there's people on their phones, and they're like, it's 4 different people at different times watching videos on their phone without headphones or anything. It's just, we all have to hear what they want to watch, whether we like it or not. So, don't know what happened to Aaron. That was a while ago during the Rave era. Aaron's kind of like Enigma now. Have I heard the journalist author before? Yes, I've heard of Neil Carlin. He had a relationship with Prince between 85 to 93. and I trust things between those time periods. Double A says, really like to see more Prince in a concert interview or documentary. I wholeheartedly agree. I really enjoyed watching the Sign of the Times DVD performance of the New Year's Eve show from 1987. And I'm always up for new stuff. And I don't want the bootleggers to be the one putting them out. I want the estate and other people to be able to put it out, whether it's Netflix giving us a teaser of this documentary or other things. But can't get enough Prince footage. I love watching it with other people, though, not necessarily by myself. So, yeah. I would love to see an interview between John Bream and Neil Carlin. Can we make that happen? And I'd be the moderator, and I would do that. That's all I'm trying to say here. Just certain things, you know. Very interesting. Anyway. But how do you get people in who may not like each other or whatnot? So there you go. Heidi, I had a feeling you'd say that. Yeah. It's been a while since I heard from John, honestly. But the past few times I've been in Minneapolis, and will be like the event, so I haven't really talked to him. Full of Soul. God, you're talking about a name from the past. I think he's still around, but he isn't doing the stuff that he did before, because he would clean up video and other things, and then people would start selling it. So, yeah. He was aware of the critical statements of him. That's why I don't understand the eternal love claims that people have for him today. Sorry, it's just hypocritical today. Not everyone is a Prince scholar. There are people that actually had a valid experience with Prince, and those that just saw him once or twice. But they label themselves as Prince scholars. And I understand what you're saying. But the thing is now that he's no longer here, they're trying to focus on the experiences they had with him that were positive. So, what do I want for myself? What do you mean by that? I want more love, more money, more understanding, more not having a place of division as much as we have right now in this world. Yeah, spoke to the kids about Academy Prince in July about Prince's political songs. Was very moving. Jesus Christ. It's great to talk about that with kids. Could you imagine if I did a political show on his political songs? This thing would turn into a cesspool before you knew it. So, yes, and I do agree that some people are trying to rewrite history. And there are other people that are trying to do that. But I think everyone's story, without having to rewrite it, is pretty awesome. I just don't want it to be rewritten. What do I want to be? I want to be me, and I'd love to be involved in some shape or form, and we'll see what the future has. I need to probably update my resume and stuff and make it more professional, and just other things that I worked on with my website, whether it was Katy Perry and other things. And yes, there is Baby Yoda behind me. So these are the things that you have to do. And then you have to concentrate on your own future and working on yourself, just in case you can't put all the eggs in one basket. And apparently that's not a Yoda reference right now. So cash grabs. I don't know. But everyone's trying to rewrite it, but their own journeys were the same. So, I think that their journeys are awesome. Like I brought this up a few weeks ago. Someone was like, "Oh, like da-da-da, like would Prince play any music?" I'm like, "Yeah," and like he would ask for input. I'm like, "No." But of course, that'd be a good story to tell, but it would make it not true. I think him playing me new music was awesome by itself. He didn't need me for freaking ideas. He knew what the hell that he was doing. So, yeah, all the true stories should be told. and I may not have seen the SNL Baby Yoda skit, I guess, or it was not that familiar. No, you just try to work on yourself. In the past year, I've done that, as you guys see, inside and out, and you try to make things happen for yourself, because sometimes the paths aren't exactly a direct path. You got to do other things. So, excuse me, this is bothering me. So, yeah. There we go. Hopefully that'll last another 30 minutes before it gets insane to me. And the stories are awesome without doing it. Of course, there's other people that will come up with something like, oh, did he do this? And I'm like, oh, that sounds better. But the whole thing yourself is just it. Yeah. Prince was a genius. He didn't need anyone. There would be, and I 100% agree with that. There'd be times where we go, hey, I have a new band. I want you to check it out. It wasn't him trying to ask my opinion of it. He just did it. I've worn suit and ties in the past for the show. And you have the big lighting on you. You have other things that'll be on for a couple of hours. It's a little different. But I try to switch it up and not do other things. But we've worn, even in the summer, we'd wear suit and ties or dress shirts and ties. So, we try to do these things. So, but those are the things. I love when people tell the truth, but don't tell lies to sell books. Interesting. Casual is best. I just felt this is somewhat dressy if you wear this with dress slacks or other stuff, or you have a blazer on top of it. But my main thing was just not to cover it up, especially when you're sitting down. It looks a certain way. So, thank you, AA. I appreciate it. Who even wears a bra anymore? Well, not me. How many of you are you? What do you mean by that? So, yeah. Thank you. We are in the necklace. Thank you, Sandra. We can only try to do that. Yeah. I've been in a suit and tie. One of the promo photos we use for the show, I'm in one, just because we're not going out as much. That's just something that I do. It sounds so bad when you keep saying, I did this, I did that. So it just sounds better with we. And then Prince would do that as well. But that's where it comes from, is, you try to act as part of a team. And as they say, there's no I in team. So you try to do we or other things, just like I feel this show is for you guys. This is your guys' show. So, not going to be a trench coat and a bikini bottom. I don't think ever. Although if I continue to keep working hard, so, it'll be those things. So, yeah. Did Prince ever minister to you? Jehovah's Witness hand you a track? No, but we talked about stuff in the music club room. We had discussions, but nothing like that. Nothing trying to convert it. And no, again, not at the Rave into the Joy Fantastic concert. Was invited by someone there, but not in the purple circle, so to speak. So, and was what business profitable? You got to look at stuff. Sometimes things aren't profitable money-wise, but you look at through experiences and through the people that you met and the people that you do. Like, this show may not be that profitable, but the people that are in this room and have love for each other and for one another, that makes it a success right off of there. Whether you can consider that being profitable. So, do I have a favorite era of his music? 77 through 2016. I like everything. There was peaks and valleys when it came to things, but that's how it goes, right? There's peaks and valleys and everything. So, you can't always be number one all the time. So, wish you see where at least sweeter she is one day. There's so much stuff for them to release. And since that's a cover, that means that they would have to, if they released it for sale, that the original people would have to be paid for it. So it makes it less profitable. So there you go. Profitable from a business standpoint, not talking about the love in the room. So, they would have to put it out for free, just like it was done before. So, which album got you through the hardest time of your life? I've had hard times, plural. So, I listen to music mostly on shuffle. So it'd be different songs and albums that got me through different times. Just like there's usually a meme for everything. There's a song for every emotion or other things going on. Yes. Right. And Prince, I think he would do it more so when he was saying we was it's of a royal subject of doing that. You speak in that sense. My whole thing was just, even when I was doing my website, a majority of it I would do myself. When I had other jobs, I would have other people that wrote stories. But when I would write, you'd always be like, we would like to thank you. We would do this, even though of the, say 10,000 articles that were written on the website, 9,500 were mine. But it always would be we and not I. When we hit 10 million views, it was like, we would like to thank people, because it just sounds so selfish doing it. But I will say this, a lot of people that say I and give themselves credit are pretty cutthroat, but have found their ways into other things. So maybe being selfish sometimes is the way, but it just sounds to me, it's I this, I that. It sounds very have ever met Manuela in So Unaware? Several times. It's been a while since I've seen her though. But she was nothing but pleasant to me from the moment I met her for the first time in 2000 to when I saw her last time, I believe in 2016 or 2017. So with your questions, man, I'm not exactly knowing where you're going because I don't understand the full question. So don't know where you're going with that. What happened to Billy Sparks? I haven't heard about him for years. I remember he was around in 2001 for the Hit and Run tour. Hopefully he's doing well. So do I think they'll release his early gems from the 70s before For You? It's possible, along with that demo reel. Absolutely love his early songs. Hoping For You gets the next Super Deluxe just for those songs. In time, they may have something like that eventually. So P-Funk, see, what was that person's real name? We have these usernames that we used. So Double A says the bottom line is they will lose the good people who love Prince if they don't pay them. That would be disastrous. There would be no one to keep his memory alive except streaming. It's tough. I mean, I got paid sporadically through Prince in the first few years, were through band members or through PayPal and other stuff. But again, there's other things that can be done for that. P's music helped me fighting that damn diabetes. Thank God that's over. What diabetic were you? I'm type 2 and was told with weight loss it would be reversed, and that is so not true. So good to see you, Christy. So you guys be well. Let's try to keep this to an hour show, and then we'll do an after show. So if you guys are cool with that. or we can keep going now that you guys are all in the room, but just to have that stuff done. So, hold on, guys. Yeah. We used Miss Fat Booty 77, I think, in all, but wasn't in there all the time because I didn't have a computer, like late 90s. Type 1 donator. Yeah. Do I have any diet tips? Lots of protein. Don't drink soda. Try to have meat products as little as possible. And stay away from processed foods. And just try to have, like I said, things high in protein, and just trying to be as physical as you can, walking, working out, doing other stuff. I got paid very little working for Lemon. I was all fulfilling the dream to work for me. See, and I think that's what people did, though, is that they worked for very little because it was dreams. And sometimes people would work for Prince for free, and that wasn't exactly good. So the 1999 remaster, you're talking about that one that was released during the Rave era, huh? I don't hate it. I like that little samba salsa feel it has at the end, So I'm told that you can drink, red wine or other stuff, maybe a glass. I'm not really someone who would drink. I would only drink when going out with friends to be their wingman, and so they can have liquid confidence, and then that wasn't good for me. So as a diabetic, I try to stay away from that, but man, there's times where I wish I drank. It'd make life a little bit easier, but no, I don't do that. So yeah, but just don't, like red wine and other stuff, it's proven to be good for you. Probably beer, other alcoholic beverages, not so much. So, but yeah, I mean, being fit, being healthy, being, trying not to have the junk food as much are all good things, but stay the heck away from soda. So, red wine with a straw. That's how Prince would have it. I know that's why he said it. I was a pre-diabetic, and the tips you just gave us the ticket. Protein, walking, and me not eating too much meat does help. I'm trying to put on more muscle, so then I miss the walks though. Like putting on my music and going for like 2.5 hours, but I'm just trying to do more weights and more sit-ups and more other things. So shop the outside departments in the grocery store. You mean not going to the Target? And even their healthy food is expensive, and eating healthy is ridiculously expensive, and it pisses me off so much. Where you can have the bad food where it's cheap, and then there's no reason that salad should be $10 freaking or other stuff. No White Claws, no. Yeah, no pop, no Coke, none of that other crap. It just isn't good for you, at all. I mean, I never, ever, ever thought that I had a bad addiction to soda, and it's been over a year since I had my last one. And all the people that have it in front of me, I have one in my fridge for a friend when they come over, albeit it isn't as much during COVID, but there's no desire to drink it, so. Yeah. And I guess I'm boring. Iced tea, protein drink, water. Those are the things I usually drink. But I'd love to have scotch eventually. There's a reason for cheap foods, keeps the farm in business. And yes, even with diabetes, like on the American Diabetes Association or whatnot, they talk about meat. But if you're staying away from it, it actually is healthier for you. But sometimes some of the money that they get is from these companies, you know, like I said, I'm on the pills, and I thought that I wouldn't be for diabetes. Yes, caking soda is hard. Eating good or organic is expensive. 100% it is. And I do my best, is all I can say. The shelf life of healthy food in the fridge is like one day. That's true too. Healthy food, you got to eat it like quick. But that's why people overseas, they're used to going to the market every day. And, they go shopping because they usually have food, fresh food that day. So those things do more with it. So, yeah. Yep. So those are the things. Prince drank wine with a straw. Yes, he did. Cucumber water with mint is yummy. I don't have the patience to make that myself. And then a lot of places that I would go to that had it, they're not exactly open right now. Yeah. Cucumber water with mint is yummy. There's a reason you have so much. Yes, it just is. It just is. Like I was, get rid of the stuff. Why is it stuff that we had in the 80s? Chips Ahoy didn't freaking kill you, didn't give you diabetes. They're making so much stuff with processed food and other things that are quick to make that they went back to more natural stuff. It wouldn't be so bad for us. And Americans as a whole, we have a huge obesity problem. And vegan 3121 on Twitch, high carb, low fat, vegan for the win. There you go. I wouldn't say high carb, but high protein. Yes. 4 in the morning here in Sweden. Thank you. Appreciate you guys checking in live. I don't know if I'd be doing that here in the US for any show that was on 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I appreciate you. Let me put this here for people that want to donate or whatnot. Not saying anyone in Sweden, just putting that up there for people. Because sometimes they say it goes by too quick. So just make a picture and it's ready for you in the morning. Yeah. Don't know how to do these things. Sorry. Pineapple agua fresca is good alternative soda. Does it have bubbles in it though? It's not exactly the best thing for your stomach. Fresh whole foods are the way to go and as plant-based as possible. Although getting stuff from, say, Whole Foods, that's a whole paycheck sometimes. So, yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't consider myself a celebrity. When people, what's the deal with the important details? People want to know what a celebrity wants to eat. Why? Because they'll look at them. Like I look at A-Rod before finding out that he did steroids or whatnot, wanting to know what he ate because he was 6'2" and he was quite muscular. So it's just those things. It's just like Jerry Seinfeld on one of his skits. He would talk about, following someone in a market to see what they have in their cart, to see what they have. Like, oh, he looks pretty healthy. Let me see what he gets, and I'll get the exact same stuff. It's just sort of these things. But there's nothing wrong with being healthy and being curious. Why so much protein? Not necessary. Carbs or energy. Something that's high in carbs for a diabetic, it raises your sugar level. And so if something's high in carbs, it's not exactly that great for you. So you have to worry about things like that. And then that can affect your, your cholesterol and other things that are higher in carbs as well, especially as a diabetic. No bubbles, just pineapple and water. Interesting. You need a lady to help you. Sure, one day. Don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon. I don't think that's on my list for Christmas. Just keeping myself busy during that time. So, yeah. Wow, we're already past the hour mark, so I guess we'll just keep going on that one. Yes, and Prince was about healthy eating. Let's get back onto the Prince stuff. So, and here's hoping. I did see that the Prince estate is selling merch for the holidays. I don't know if they're going to be adding on any more items to be sold. So if anyone's trying to start their Christmas list now and ordering through them, I just worry because then you order something and then they'll add more products onto it, But again, still waiting on stuff from July because one t-shirt isn't ready. Like, come on, man. So I'm trying not to complain about stuff, but it's been difficult when ordering through them. And there's some people who has, you know, good experiences with the Prince Estate and ordering stuff. There's some people I hear about that don't, but sometimes the people that do have good experiences, they just don't say it. What was Prince's favorite treat? What did I see him eating? He ate salads in front of me and soup. I do remember at a concert one time in 1999, he had like a piece of celery in his mouth, and then he had something in his cup, and he offered it to Sheila E, and she said no, and he went, "It's Coke," just like mouthing it to her. So he would have soda from, all that stuff. So, but those are the things I'd see him eating, or we'd hear about it because he'd sometimes say that like he likes chef salad without eggs, but then some people would talk about other things being in there that he shouldn't be eating if he was a vegan or other stuff. So, and at the house parties, he would have cookies and whatnot. There would be a full bar, but I would just be having the Fiji water. That's all I would be having. So, yeah. Tortilla chips and 3 grapes. Hey, he was a tiny individual. Like, I would wish that those things would fill me up, not chips. We did see him eat tortilla chips in Purple Rain for sure, the Doritos. So, your mom had diabetes. Glad to hear had. Hopefully she's still with us. Not sure with that. I'll have to check it out. But again, diabetics, I'm following what my doctors and nutritionists say, and I've done quite well just on staying away from that stuff. But we're told as diabetics, you count carbs more than calories, and you shouldn't be having anything be over 40 carbs average. So those are the things that you're doing that. Dr. Fingward, love it. Thanks. It's the second thing where someone said, like, I feel like I escaped from prison. Yeah. Bean soup at a party. Huh. The cheesecake. Yes, he would have the cheesecake. I wouldn't see that. Cheesecake Funk was in here, so she would have more and know which ones were his favorite. I did have the strawberry cheesecake, although even before having a slice, I felt my blood sugar raising. Keto diet, those things are popular, but also having too much meat isn't exactly great for your heart. You have to have things in moderation. So, what was his workout regime besides dancing? I wouldn't know offhand, but he seemed pretty fit. I'm sorry to hear that, Veronica. So, and I've never done any drugs at all. I just think sometimes I know someone's just being a little bit of a joker, so it's just going to be from ignored. Thanks. Trying to be good, trying to be healthy. Been a while since we talked. Apologize for that. Never thought he was vegan, maybe briefly, but vegetarian. Yeah. He would go on these things where, vegan, vegetarian, and then other stuff. He just wouldn't have meat or things like that around for a period of time. I haven't had cheesecake in a long time. They say everybody eats cheesecake. That's one of the things I just haven't had. But, probably if I was in Minneapolis, would have a slice of that Cheesecake Funk. Was the round building at Paisley supposed to be a restaurant? That's what we all figure. When it says we can swing by the egg, perfect place to playhouse. And then again, getting it built without, we talked about this before, without the permits, and you can't have certain things without windows or whatnot in there. So that's what you see. The chocolate turtle something is one of his favorites. I know that. I think she said that was his favorite, and it's so sweet. Yes, I believe she said that as well. Thanks, Veronica. I try to be. Yes, the turtle one was the favorite. Do you try and get you to eat what he ate? He would offer me to order something when we were in the studio or whatnot, but I said no. I don't think I just wanted to eat around him or whatnot. And I was a lot heavier then. So, What up, CH? Mr. Funkatopia in the house, celebrating turning 52 on next week's show for his thing. 5-2. Good Lord. At least it adds up to 7. I have a bakery that sells only low-carb, diabetic-friendly desserts. How do they taste, Princess? How do they taste? So, yeah, I mean, we asked him about what that circular building was at a sound check in 2001. The fans, it was in the Bay Area. And he said, I don't know. What do you think it is? He wouldn't answer that question. But I think at that time they already stopped doing it. How tall you are, 5'2". 6'2", but I got to continue stretching to make sure I don't shrink. So, yeah. Man. We'll ask for a shout out to Olivia, please, and thanks. What's up, Olivia? So, heard there's going to be pantry for those who need. Swing by the Egg, perfect place to play house. Or there's basements, pays overall as legendary closer in his career kept. Is that true? Not certain of that. There was a vault area, and then there was the parking garage, or still is the parking garage. So Princess, you can hit me up on send a thing to the fan page. Just give me time to get back to it. You got room. People saying hi to Olivia back, not just me. So that's a good thing. So, yeah. What else do you guys want to talk about? I just had to say that like Forrest Gump, huh? So, yeah. Sorry, guys. Just checking to see if anything's hitting right now. There we go. Have to save room and joy every time I see her. Thanks. Sorry we're not on as much as I want to be. I just have other things going on. I know it's going to be hard. Hard to do with the holidays coming up. But we try. I just want to have more guests on for you guys and other things. It's just with how packed my days are. So that's where it goes on to. Is there any music perhaps with Prince and Sade and or music he might have recorded with Tina Marie? No. Like he had, he would say stuff about Sade when he was doing the Bria album and other stuff like that, but nothing on that. So, and thank you, Ann. I appreciate it. And here is Ruth dropping knowledge. I'll let it go for all the platforms to see. Day was supposed to be a restaurant initially, then a gathering space, aka JW. Then he wanted a small hotel, and then a small live music venue, bookstore, coffee shop, gift shop. Thank you, Ruth. So yes, the things about the restaurant are true, but also more other things that are being dropped on that. You know how they have the versus battles? I was imagining if Prince was still alive, he would do it. Prince could have a versus battle with himself. Like 3 different ones from all the different eras, So I Don't Trust You More. Who did he write that song about? I have my own suspicions on that, but I don't want to put anything out there because then it'll come off as fact, and that's not true. So I'll have a person on one day and we'll discuss that. Yeah. Here's Ruth dropping more knowledge. It costs more to tear it down than to bring it up to code, and it's about $500,000. Yeah, so he just stopped in the middle of building it, So you love Ruth's profile pic. Well, that's her and him hanging out on the balcony. As someone was saying, what was the joke where someone was like, oh, look busy? But you didn't really have to pretend around Prince, for sure. So, yeah. We need Ruth to get done with her book, so we're going to have her be on the show and do other things. Or just to have her on, because I think that She's got a lot to say. Yeah. Prince brought up all the land because he basically wanted to own the city. Like when he first started with Paisley, there was nothing out there but cornfields. And now there's so much other stuff that's around it, whether it was on the block or the Target down the street or Perkins or other things. So yeah. Maybe this has been asked, has anyone considered a book about his show clothes? That would probably be something for the estate to do now and then other people to be involved in. Eventually, we'll have her on the show. Not right now, but I'd love to have her on. So not sure you're just to serve. Wouldn't you love to bid on Prince's performing tour bus? No. Where the hell would I put that thing? Wherever relaxed around Prince, yeah, yeah. It's just, you grow up in LA and other stuff, and you go to school with quote unquote celebrities or other stuff. Obviously, Prince is on a totally different level, but I don't know. I didn't feel it. I felt relaxed just because it would be mostly, other people hanging around or even one-on-one, be driving around. I didn't feel any reason to not be relaxed. I don't know. Sure, Ruth would feel the same way, albeit I'm sure the first couple experiences may have been different or him being in a mood, but that's it. Yeah. All right. Any other questions, you guys, or should we be wrapping up? Anything that Ruth wants to chime in, please, by all means. Where was Prince spiritually before he transitioned? Again, that's a tough question. And then when you say stuff, you're making assumptions because he isn't here to defend himself or say that what's right or what's wrong. We can say where he was leaning or doing other things, but I won't do that. Is there a story behind the song Valentina? Yeah, it's exactly what Bruce said, Salma's daughter. Tell your mom to give me a call when she's done chasing you down the hall, So, did Prince ever play the banjo? I'm sure it's just like what Sam Jennings said about him playing the harp, that he never played it before, but I don't know if Prince played the banjo, but I'm sure he played it well. So, did I go to any award shows when he was up for awards? Only when we knew he was performing would we go to stuff. If he didn't like going to award shows, why were we going to do it? Yeah. And what's not to be fond about Salma at all? He was a living, breathing man and more than that. But Salma is the epitome. And she had a post about Prince earlier today about some of her favorite songs. And of course, Valentina is up in the mix on that one. So, yeah, we saw with the banjo from Muppets Tonight, but that'd be it. I think we all saw that, but privately if you play it. But that was a funny skit. Gators. Cara. All right, we'll wrap it up within 12 minutes with you guys. So, but Salmita is why Tu Mama Tambien, why she was called. So that is pretty awesome. And that's something that I wasn't aware of. And there's so much stuff that, we were saying they bought Valentina a custom-made pink cashmere coat. How awesome is that? Albeit probably doesn't fit into it anymore, right? But that's awesome. And that's it. And that's why I think it's important for people to be able to tell their stories, because there's so much stuff that we don't know. And for people that try to act like they know everything, it's not true. But that's why I have problems with that recent book that was put out, is I believe stuff that they were around for from 85 to 93, they knew what they were talking about. When it starts hitting up other people's time periods, it becomes problematic. So what are my thoughts on Prince getting a star on the Walk of Fame? Well, we have this brought up a lot. I know you didn't fully agree with it due to the demands associated with it. However, I hope they give him one. Posthumously, fine. So in regards to Valentina's pink cashmere coat, we bought when she was like 3 or 4 years old. But Ruth knows more about this in conversations that we had. And then she told me before to let the fans know during the 31-21 era, he didn't want a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, what I would like posthumously is one that's put next to Ali's, because Ali's actually is not on the Walk of Fame. It's on the side wall, so he doesn't get stepped on. I would like Prince to have that if it does get posthumously, which it probably will be done. But exactly, yeah. So, and then he wanted the fans to know he didn't want one because it's something that they would have to pay for, and he didn't want to do it. So he didn't want you guys wasting your money on that. But yeah, that's all I'm saying is have him be like Ali on the side wall to where you can't get stepped on. That's how it would be for me. What book would you recommend to read about Prince? I like the photo books, Afshin's, of course, Randy's, things like that. It's just hard that so much stuff gets, discombobulated or other things, Yeah. Wasn't it more than 5K? Where did this comment go? I wish you can dictate where it goes. Like, how did Muhammad Ali get his on a sidewall? We should look into that. Yeah. But, I could fully understand, especially with how Hollywood was at that time. It's a little bit cleaner now, but it still ain't the same. So just waiting for a piece on Michelle Paulson for American Horror Story. That's cool. Yes, everyone has their own experiences with Prince. And, everyone tries to do the Purple Rain era. But to me, musicology through 31-21 through 77 Beverly Park, those things are quite interesting. And I would love for a book to focus on that, from those house parties and all these other things that were going on. So I'm rooting for Ruth to do her book. And if I ever did books, it would be about stuff like that. But if it ever came to being a book about Prince, I'm not really exactly down with that myself. So at the time, it was around 5K, the community places where they'd have availability. Okay. My thoughts. That's a tough one. There's other things that played into it, like the Grammys wanted to have their tribute back then in early 2017. But remember that October concert at Target Center of 2016, that was supposed to have TV rights. So that was messing with the Grammy stuff. And then they didn't have the celebrities that was supposed to have, or the musicians. So it's frustrating. But that's a different kind of tribute, because I don't think that he would want like a memorial. We're talking about James Brown or Aretha or even Michael Jackson. Those things are tough. And Prince was a private person. So what Prince wants to be happening right now? Quarantining with someone or some people, who knows? I'm just being facetious and trying to be playful, because we don't really know what he would exactly want. Yeah, the October 16 tribute was 4 hours long, but where's the footage? Where was the event for it? The broadcasting stuff? Who knows in the future? But, I understand that people are upset that's why they feel they have no closure, because there wasn't this stuff. Does James Brown really have closure? Does Aretha really have closure? The ways that they passed away was different than how Prince went. So that's just tough. Yeah, Miss Rain was 25. I think it was a lot more than 5K, Ruth, and that the fans would have to pay for it as well. Like, yeah. I think 25 to 30,000. So 421, 21. We gotta get over COVID first. I say covert like it's a covert thing. Lost donation link. Here you guys go. And I do have it outside the show. He would want people to stop posting pics of him with pumpkins and Santa hats on his head. That's probably true, although every single year for Christmas, that one red outfit he was wearing during the Jam of the Year era always starts circulating, and someone's got to put a Santa hat on it. So, you know. But, yeah, when it comes to beliefs, you know, like I understand about not editing out music that he cursed in. I get that. But when you're not respecting certain things that he did and making it be something, it's a little bit different. Okay. Because I know that there was, for other celebrities, fans do have to pay, but Ruth also says that they don't have to pay. Celebrity can pay, just needs a petition of 5,000 names. That's what it was. Yeah. Glad he didn't have one when he was here. I mean, even Cher didn't get one until later in life, right? And some other people. And then you usually use that for promotions for an album or for a tour then. So no one in the room is buying the PR bus. My roommate and I used to work on all the Beatles stars and found out the info. However, it's not recent. That was about 3 years ago. I don't think it's changed so much in the past 3 years. I just wonder how they do it posthumously. So, you know. Did he ever spend time as a mansion in Turks and Caicos? Did he ever spend time as mansion in Turks and Caicos? Of course. You know, and it was quite beautiful there, and we know that he would be there. So, you know, why would you own something without using it? I know that he would buy up land at different places in Minnesota, as we talked about previously, but, you know, Turks and Caicos was a nice spot for him. You really wish he was around for quarantine live streams. Yeah. They could be doing different things or putting stuff out. So that's how I look at it. I just don't want to be selfish that, you know, wishing that he was here for certain things or other stuff. Ruth, will there be a book? She notes that. Old school J7. Good to see you're still doing your thing. I'm trying. Thank you. Yeah. So. All right, let's give it like 2 more minutes and we're going to bounce. Difficulties with that property and dual ownership, right? Ruth, is there anything else that you want to say? People are asking about a book and other stuff, but I'm all for Ruth having a book out, especially with the information from that era, there not being a lot of it. And Musicology was his top grossing tour and other stuff. Thank you, Old School Necklace. So, you know, we got to have jewelers especially make it, because I think that the copyright isn't owned by him. So, Ruth being silent on that. So, you know, we'll see what the future holds on that for her. Whoops. I just have to see how the world is today. Right. We all wish he was here in different things, you know, but he isn't, and it makes it harder for people that knew him to hear stuff like that. Right. I'm going to try to finish it by the end of the year. That consists of incidental stories, not a tell-all, and Hill's fictional memoir. Ruth just gave her opinion of it. You're not a jerk. You're just saying how a lot of people feel. And I'm very conflicted about having him on the show. I know he wants to be on. That book really, all I'll say about it. So we have him on, it'd be Ruth and other people would have to grill him. Ruth was with Prince during, as I said, through musicology, through around possibly 2010, but she was around for a lot of stuff. These amazing house parties and other things that you hear about wouldn't have taken place without Ruth. Even the 3121 deal, I may be giving her more props than she would give herself, but she played a very instrumental role in a lot of stuff. And she doesn't get the credit that she deserves for those things. So, you guys would, have to research more than just purporting stuff. I'm not trying to be a jerk about that, but there's certain people that played big roles that you guys just don't know about. So, and on YouTube, Ruth, you had this comment for you. If I were Ruth, I would write a book and call it Prince Stories, the Book of Ruth. Well, what's funny about Ruth is like when we were talking during like the 3121 era, and then she she doesn't know me from Adam, would be one of Ruth's lines. And I love that because it's like my first time hearing stuff like that. But Ruth has a lot of stories, like, come on, background stories of legitimacy regarding the Super Bowl. Although she needs to stop calling herself like a wet rat after that performance. And then from Saturday Night Live to other things that were going on during that time period. But it was a very interesting era, and I'm not just saying that because I was, around during that time, thankful to her because of that being pulled in 2006, more so. And, plain and simple, like, who knows what would have happened, but without Ruth getting me involved, there probably wouldn't have been a Funkenberry and other stuff. I don't know, but I don't want to take out any of those pieces. So it plays into it. And I'm very grateful and thankful for that. And I will text her from time to time, especially when I was watching the Sign of the Times performance when it first came out. Like, it's because of her that I was actually able to see so many more concerts that I would have not been able to see, whether it was at the house parties or Rio or the Roosevelt. So I'm very thankful and grateful for that. So yeah. Lori, read it if you want, is all I can say. But I would trust more still the stuff from 85 to 93 interviews that he had. And I still don't understand why he was so hard on John Nelson. I'm glad that kind of protected Maddie in a way, who just, her birthday was on November 11th. But it's just frustrating. I mean, there's 3 Prince books I got in the mail this week. Yes. Musicology, NAACP, BET, Oscars, Roosevelt shows, Super Bowl, Coachella, Rio residency, 21 nights in London, awards parties, blah, blah, blah. Yes. And just how, remember, Ruth, that he wanted to have a 3121 in New York. I believe, was it supposed to be, and I'm not sure if you told me this. Yeah. When it came to the shows in New York, wasn't he wanting to get, first it was like a penthouse and have the celebrity parties there, but apparently like the elevator, if it goes up too many times per night, it can't do that. Then I know that there was stuff with Roosevelt, and I believe the one in New York as well, to where food being served or chocolates being made, and they had to have licenses or other things for that. See, this is why we need Yabby on the show, so you don't have to write all this stuff. But Ruth was like a PA, then became manager. And through Facebook, we're getting questioned, Ruth, so you were the coordinator / administrator of events for Prince. Is that what I'm hearing? How cool that you're sharing. She did more than that. So, Super Bowl press conference is one of his best media moments. See, and she can tell a story about that, you know. And then Ruth also says, we did the Gainsport for the book release in New York where I lost the clothes. That's the show where he, you know, said like he looked like Rihanna or whatnot. The hairstyles were the same at the time. Beverly Regent at the Wilshire, wow. Or for Pretty Woman fans, Bev Reg. So, but yeah, there was supposed to be a 3121 New York, I believe, and even had Sam post about it. Sam Jennings post about it on 3121.com as a little teaser. Yeah. Job duties were the same beginning to end. Basically, that's Ruth saying that she slept 3 hours and that she'd ask for days off, and Prince would be calling her on her days off to find out what she was up to and why she needed a day off. Anyway, yeah. You know, and I think everyone is some sort of, she was an extension of Prince, the only way to describe it, doing everything he would come up with. Yes. So, oh, that's for that. Sorry. Jeez. Yes, wanted to do butter. I'm not a musical version of Ruth. I don't play nothing. I write stuff. So, yeah. But if you were working for Prince, you didn't exactly, it was tough having your own life. And Ruth was a lifeline for a lot of stuff. So, yeah. Yep. Deb, God, what's the thing that she ran in the 90s I didn't know about until afterwards? Crap. But yes, Deb and Ruth played a huge part, but Deb especially, because without her opening the door for me to tell Ruth about me, I probably wouldn't be here with you guys today. I don't know, but more than likely. So eternally grateful for Deb and Ruth on those things. Skeleton crew, just me and the cleaning lady and other things. But yes, so. Oh, what I meant is you ran around and know a lot about his music, quite like Ruth. Yeah, you know, but also like the thing is like I would write reviews, you know, after say going to the Roosevelt and a show ending at 5 a.m. and having to be work at 7 a.m. at my regular job, I would write a review while it's fresh in my mind and then do stuff. So there's like track records of stuff, or as I call it, digitally, whether it's through my emails or stuff that I posted on different websites. So I have those things. What's Ruth's favorite unreleased Prince song? Work That Fat. No, I don't know. Was Ruth around with the director Dogma came to Paisley? No, that was during Rainbow Children era. She barely knows his release songs. Hilarious. I would say if I had to guess, Ruth, if I'm allowed to guess, Joy and Repetition, Question of You, possibly. But yeah, unreleased song would just say Work That Fat, because I know that she heard that one. Yes. She came right after Kevin Smith, and that's a whole story, but Prince wasn't as big of a dick as he appeared to Kevin. A lot of that had to do with stuff, spreading stories, etc. Yeah. I think sometimes males took stuff a lot harder. That's why I kind of wish that women were around more so all the time when it came to him, because I feel more comfortable around women than men. It just sometimes the male ego, or testosterone, as I like to call it, plays into things at certain times. So yeah. Should we be, I want to like wrap up at the same time. I don't want to, you know, if Ruth's sharing stuff, I'm all for that as well. So she just discovered Love We Make and I'm in Love. That's a tough song too. But yeah, there's so many different things. As I said, Prince can totally be a versus artist where, you know, it could be instead of 2, it could be three different versions of Prince could be having those parties. He could be having his own verses for sure. Rosemary, Ruth, you can ask that one that Rosemary has, aside from NK. Ruth, do you have a favorite Prince girlfriend wife? Are you trying to get her in trouble here? Like, let's mention Coco or someone that they don't know about, or something like that. We're going to talk about Christina Milian or something. Just watching a video of Under the Cherry Moon win a date with Prince Premier with VH1 and Martha Quinn. His father seemed intent on telling the audience he was the first Prince that he gave Prince all his moves, etc. Did his father repress tension and jealousy of his son? It's possible, but we're talking about two people who aren't here anymore. And I'd rather share those conversations for Wendy, Lisa, and Susanna to express those things than to me to make assumptions. Thank you, Ruth. Next question, we pass for $200. There you go. Lala. Ruth is a guest soon in the future, you know. So, wow. All right, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. All right, but you guys ask away to Ruth and I'll read it for the people that are listening to audio. That's why you're hearing a little bit of differences when you're listening to the show. So, you know, this is like we need Dave Hampton and other stuff. So like she doesn't have all the questions all by herself and other things, or people that are watching and that are part of the camp at one time and aren't just saying anything. So yeah, save for the book. Yeah. Kristen, like, oh, is that I love you for Ruth? Getting another girl crush. Watch out now. We've explained who Ruth was before. She's been in the mix for a while during important parts of Prince's career. Yeah. Just in code. That's smart, Ruth. So what's our purpose now? Making sure that there's no revisionist history going on and that she can tell her story from the time period she was with Prince. So, yeah. Yeah. Who am I still figuring it out? Ruth, aren't we all? I think that we're all who I was 2 years ago, who I was 10 years ago, who I was 8 months ago, because during COVID, it's been 5 years. I'm not the same person I was. That's what I don't like is when Prince would say something in 85 and then people would be arguing now like, oh, this is how he felt. I'm like, that's how he felt in 85. He was ever evolving like all of us were. So to make these assumptions isn't exactly so great. So I have no purpose trying not to get COVID. I'm with you on that. That's why I only go to Target and a few other places and I wear my damn mask. So yeah, I think we're all trying not to get COVID. It just, yeah, you got the holidays coming up and what? If you want to be asking what I'm doing for Thanksgiving, I'll tell you right now, watching the Cowboys lose, that's probably what I'll be doing. Same for Christmas. I don't know. I party with myself. So that's where it gets down to. I see you Twitchers, YouTubers. Is Ruth an artist? In her own regards. There's creativity in all different things, I believe. So yeah. Those are the things that are going on and being done. Strawberry Mind, thank you on YouTube. Yeah, we're not the same person we were then. You know, Ruth is a magician. That's one way of saying it, for sure. So, yeah. Yeah. Again, personal relationships as well, whether it was with girlfriends, wives, band members, stuff like that. Were there bowling lanes at Paisley Park? No, there wasn't one at not 77. The house he had after 77 Beverly Park during the Forum run had it. Yeah. Sorry, Ruth's answering that. Talk about peekable. And didn't just need the light up shoes for that, and whether it was like roller skating or not. So yeah, that was at the house. More like an oracle. Very interesting, especially if you read back row like I do, the oracle row. What is your questions, man? How much time did Ruth spend in Minnesota during her time working for Prince? Ruth, I'm going to let Ruth answer that about Paisley Park West and other things. She's not. All right. All right, Ruth, I'm going to be calling it in 5 minutes, giving you time to say whatever you want, or if any good questions come across. So don't I like being alone, especially for the holidays? I like being alone. Holidays can be a little bit tougher. I'm perfectly comfortable with my own company, but there's less things to distract you. Minnesota collectively 2 years. So that's for Ruth, you guys. All right. Yeah. I don't know. Anything in closing, Ruth, at all you want to say or have it be read? This is why sometimes you guys got to watch the show live, because you'll have stuff like this happening. I always appreciate you guys watching or listening after the fact. So yeah. Yes, November 11th was Maddie Shaw's birthday. Prince wanted me to move there, and I was like, hell no. Yeah, when he'd want me to come there and it'd be the dead of winter, I'd be like, dude, like, let me know when it's 70. So yeah, the drama between everyone, mostly romantic, is crazy now, though entertaining. No comment on that. So now I have to find a song Valentina since it's not my granddaughter's name. MPLS Sound, Lotus Flower. Get it. It's got some good jams on there. So drama was draining. Drama is draining. As Scotty has said before, there was drama when he was here. What made you think there wasn't going to be drama when he wasn't here? And I went, because then it was worth it. So what do I think? What does Ruth think about having Celebration LA 1 year? Minnesota is where I discovered self-starting cars. Too cold in Minneapolis in the winter. Celebration LA would be cool, but in June, not April. It's more of an April. But yeah, celebrations should be in June going forward, hopefully in Minneapolis. So he didn't come off like he liked drama. There would just be drama around him, just like there's drama now. It would just be different. So he didn't like drama, but people are people around celebrities. Yeah, it's true. Things get swifty. Hey, Dr. Funk, Housequake was technically released as a single back in '87. Right, but at the time where the song was popping on KDAY and other stuff through the nation, If I Was Your Girlfriend was chosen as a single. At that time, if he had released Housequake, probably would have been a top 5 hit. But he also needed a video at that time, which even If I Was Your Girlfriend didn't have. So what was the most interesting fact you learned about Prince while interacting with him? That's such a tough question. I'll hopefully that's more so to Ruth than me. I'll have that go on there. So yeah. My whole thing just interacting with him was just, we talk about songwriting and stuff, but whoever he was with at the time or working with is who he would talk about more. So you have times it would be Andialo or other artists. But he was knowledgeable, and as he would say that he would read all the time. He was constantly learning, So those are those things. All right. Just trying to see if Ruth wants to get in something before we close it down on that one. Great question. Yeah. I learned a lot about him and from him. This is for all the formats. He didn't like custard consistency, like putting yogurt, etc. Lena, the chef at the time, made tiramisu and he wouldn't touch it. Finally had somebody got over the consistency challenge. It's kind of cool. Was he a neat freak? Another question for Ruth. He was super political in private. Exactly. And that's why I feel that I don't want to speak for him. And then people will take my silence as being a certain way. And that's not true. But you have to just be careful. So it was nice where people can talk, be super political in private without having to post every freaking thing that they think of on pages, So yeah. I like that custard consistency thing. Custard is interesting, just like tapioca, for sure. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Just waiting to see if Ruth wants to do anything else, or she can tell me, all right, we can close it down. Actually, he was a slob and wanted his room neat all the time. Anytime he became a housekeeper, handling his dirty drawers. Oh Lord, the Calvin Kleins or something else. And I believe, Ruth, if I'm not giving away too much information, wouldn't you sometimes order draws for him? Like some people would say that he never wore draws at all because they would see his outfits, but there you go. Custard to him was like the word moist to me. I think the word moist to everyone is a little weird. Don't I think that Clive Davis was solely responsible for Rave Un2 the Joy fantastic album being as huge as it could have been because they showed the greatest romance that's ever sold video law in college TV back when I was living in campus. I'm not so certain about that. Clive had Prince go overseas to promote the album and then had like a special coupon to buy the Rave album, but it was sold for under cost, so it didn't chart in the UK. Anyone that used that coupon, it didn't chart. In the US, it did what usually Prince releases did at that time, or it would chart high and then drop. But you can't say it's a success, that album, because there was stuff going on where he wanted the No Doubt song to be released, So Far So Pleased, and that wasn't happening because of issues with their label and that. So, and then Ruth confirmed she did buy his draws. And then since Ruth can't see this, and I do believe, wait, did he wear boxer briefs? So, yeah. All right, guys. Ruth, anything at the last? Oh my show. So, yeah. But the album could have been bigger. And I think they were trying to imitate the success of Santana at that time, of course, with all the artists. So Human Commando, though. These questions or other things. Found what he wore in my book. Exactly. On that note, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for subscribing on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. I think we're joining iHeartRadio soon. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys always for donating. I did see a few that happened during the show. It's always appreciated. I want to thank Ruth for stopping by and giving us a few things that will be in her book that she'll be having, and we'll have her on the show in the future. Enjoy my time with you guys as well. Much love. Till next time, stay safe and keep it funky. All right. Much love, you guys.